The longest-serving Democrat, the longest-serving senator, really, in American history was a former KKK recruiter called Robert Byrd. When Byrd, who was from West Virginia, died, it was just in 2010, then President Barack Obama heaped praise on his memory. Ralph Northam, by contrast, does not occupy an essential Senate seat in a battleground state. He could be replaced tomorrow by an even more reliable lieutenant governor. Therefore, Democrats are demanding that he resign immediately. Watch the litany.
He needs to resign immediately to stop the pain in Virginia and, frankly, around the nation.
I think that the governor should resign.
He's lost the authority to govern. He has to resign.
I think he should resign now.
Should he resign?
Yes, he should step down and start his road to redemption.
He should resign. So disturbing, so racist. There's no place for racism in our government.
So far be it for this show to defend Ralph Northam, and to be clear, who would put that kind of garbage on a yearbook page? But it does nevertheless raise the question, when is it okay to forgive the mistakes of others? Zaid Jilani is a journalist. He's a man of the left. Over the weekend, he tried to answer that question in an insightful essay he wrote for Quillette. He put it this way, quote, "We've all done things we're not proud of in our past, and our most offensive and obnoxious moments do not encapsulate our lives. But given an American elite culture that is regressing to a secular version of old puritanical norms, whereby sinners are branded for life and there are political points to be scored for casting them into hellfire, it is not surprising that Northam was immediately deluged with calls to resign." Zaid Jilani joins us tonight. Mr. Jilani, thanks very much for coming on.
Yeah, great to be here.
So the reason I love this essay, and I assume we don't agree on anything politically, but I thought you made a very fair point in that, when can we forgive someone in American politics now? Is that impossible? Does everyone have to lie because they can't be forgiven?
I mean, I think one of the things that our ancient traditions, our ancient religions, and science agree on is that people's behaviors and attitudes don't stay the same over time.
Yes.
People change dramatically over time. They certainly changed dramatically over 35 years. Nobody has alleged that Ralph Northam has done anything as a physician or as a public servant that is in any way bigoted or racist. So why is a snapshot of his life from 35 years ago being used to totally encapsulate who this man is? It's totally irrational. And by the left jumping on this bandwagon and calling to resign, they're undermining their own philosophy. How can they say criminal justice reform in one breath, say that we need to let murderers and rapists and batterers and robbers out of prison early, which I agree with, by the way. I do agree that they deserve a second chance and they should be rehabilitated. But they say that someone who did something offensive, obnoxious, stupid, and racist one time in their life should therefore be barred from political office no matter what he's done in the rest of his life. It doesn't make any sense, and these Democratic politicians are being totally unprincipled.
So you actually had an example, I wish I had it in front of me, in the piece of a felon who was going on to run for office after getting out, and this was, I'm not arguing against it, but approved of by the left as an example of redemption.
Yeah, I mean, this man in Texas actually knifed another man to death. He killed a man. And a number of left-wingers said it's great that he's running for office now because he shows that someone can turn their life around, redeem themselves. And by the way, I don't disagree with that. But the left at the same time has gone after Northam, has gone after 15-year-old teenagers on the mall who may have made one or two offensive gestures. They're trying to destroy individuals instead of looking at the structures that are creating much stronger and much more destructive behaviors. 1 out of 3 black children in the state of Virginia are living in poverty. Why isn't that the national crisis? Why isn't that a national emergency? Why is a photo in a yearbook from 35 years ago the emergency?
Exactly. Well, maybe because they don't feel like changing the structures that are destroying children.
Honestly, a lot of them don't. Honestly, that's the truth. I've worked in and around the Democratic Party for a long time, and I don't think a lot of them are convinced that that's the main priority.
So they focus instead, as you point out in the piece, on symbolic crimes rather than actual crimes or crises.
Because the reality is, okay, for instance, Kirsten Gillibrand was one of the people who called for Northam to resign. She was a corporate lawyer for Philip Morris for 4 years when the Clinton administration was suing Big Tobacco. She helped an industry that killed millions of people. And she's out here saying that what Ralph Northam did was a stupid racist prank when he was like a medical student is inexcusable. And she was someone who didn't just do something symbolically wrong. She defended an industry that was actually killing people. If we actually focus on the substance of policy, these are the people who should be resigning, or at least apologizing and making amends, which is what Ralph Northam is doing now, which is what he should do. But he should not resign because it would create a terrible norm. We'd be searching the tweets and the Facebook likes of every kid for 20 years, trying to find something racist, trying to ruin their lives, which is not the way forward. He should make amends. He should apologize to African Americans, and then he should pursue policy to improve their lives. That's what he should do.
You are welcome on this show anytime. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.